Hey everybody, it's Trags alongside CLNS Media Celtics writer and Celtics blog columnist Chris Grenham. Ray Allen. The Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo story just won't die. Doc Rivers told us before this ABCD Boston community event inside TD Garden on Tuesday night, he wishes they'd bury the hatchet already.
Yeah, he said he hates seeing the fracturing between that 2008 group that he loved to coach so much, and it was tough. You can kind of see it as he was talking about it. It really stinks because that was a really tight-knit group, and obviously this Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo fracturing and bickering back and forth still won't end, especially ahead of Ray Allen's Hall of Fame ceremony, so it's tough. But it was interesting to hear Doc Rivers speak about it as we've been hearing about the two players going back and forth for the last couple weeks.
Let me throw out a possibility. Rajon Rondo shocks everyone and shows up in Springfield. Yes or no?
No.
And why?
No, I don't think so. I think Ray Allen and Rajon Rondo are very similar where they're very strong in their opinions. And whoever's going to be the one to, cash it in first or kind of give up with this whole break is the loser. And I don't think either of them wants to lose this potential fight that we have going on, and I just don't see it. I think it would be great for his image and maybe how people look at Rajon Rondo throughout his career, but I just don't see it happening.
I asked Doc Rivers about handling the incredibly strong personalities on that 07-08 team because everybody wants to know, in light of Ray Allen's interview with Kyle Draper of NBC Sports Boston, can fences be mended? Do they have to be mended? And I thought his answer was really interesting.
Yeah, it was. It drives me insane that this is even a question, with a team that was so well run and tightly knit. Now you're seeing this fracturing going on, but I think, he kind of stayed away from attacking the actual relationship between the two of them, and more so he talked a lot about how his role in mending that team wasn't as big as people thought. They were a tightly knit group, and he lets a lot of that up to the team. And I think it's interesting, thinking about a group that's mainly the same team returning for the Celtics this year.
Right.
That's going to be a similar group to that 2008 team where they're tight off the court, and Brad Stevens has something to do with that, but it's a lot of it's up to the players, so it's interesting there.
Well, what's interesting, friction can sometimes be not a good thing, but a great thing for a team, like a great team,
right, because
it fires everybody up and everybody wants to outdo everybody else on the team, but for a team. And again, Doc Rivers bringing up the word sacrifice. There is a fine line on that team between everybody wanting to do their best,
right,
and show up everybody else. Kevin Garnett on the team playing, wanted to beat everybody at arm wrestling and all that.
Exactly.
But it has to be in the specter of sacrifice.
Right, there's a fine line, like you said. You always hear the stories about that 2008 team just going at each other in practice and almost to the point of injury where they're going as hard as they would in a game. And again, it's that fine line, but that makes the team better. They're working against each other so hard in practice that when it comes to the game, they step right in. They've been doing it all week or leading up to the game, whatever it may be, a playoff series. I think that really does go a long way, especially in the long run, because come the end of the season, they've been competing with each other as much as these other teams, and it brings them that much closer together. So, whether it be a tight game down the stretch or a long playoff series, I think it really does go a long way.
If you want to project a similar situation with these 2018-19 Celtics projected by almost every NBA expert to get to the NBA Finals this year and this season, maybe the Marcus Smart, Terry Rozier, Kyrie Irving dynamic, I'm not saying it's going to approach anywhere close to the Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo, and even Kevin Garnett conflict, because I think Kevin Garnett, in the end, was very loyal to Rajon Rondo.
Right. Yeah, and it seems to this point, granted, they haven't played a single game this season, but from what we heard this offseason and in the past, those three players are totally willing to be interchangeable, to give up minutes for the other ones, no matter the situation. And so I think if that message gets across that we have to sacrifice to move forward to that ultimate goal, I think it will prevent, any sort of fracturing like we've seen down the road with this 08 team.
Well, understand also with Terry Rozier and Kyrie Irving's future after this season, very much still a question mark. There is the possibility for some doubt there.
Right, completely. And it's like we talked about before. You have to think of when you're looking at Rozier's role on this team and even Marcus Smart's, it all comes back to, well, how long will Kyrie Irving be here? Is he going to be here after this season? And until that question gets answered, there's a lot of question marks out there. And the relationships have to be kind of up in the air until that becomes solidified.
Getting back to Ray Allen, what we're talking about here, who shows up this weekend from that team? or who doesn't?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think Rajon Rondo does. I know Ray Allen made a comment saying that he wouldn't be holding his breath over a call from Kevin Garnett. So I don't think Ray Allen expects KG to show up. I would hope, Paul Pierce or someone would. I think a few guys will. Maybe someone like a PJ Brown would show up. But it really stinks that this is even a question because that was such a phenomenal group. But who knows? I guess we'll just have to wait and see until this weekend.
Follow all of the Hall of Fame coverage on CLNS Media, clnsmedia.com, and on Twitter at Celtics CLNS. Inside TD Garden, he's Chris Grenham. I'm Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.